It's July 9th, 2018, and Venus has a new constellation we need to talk about. We're going to talk about that next. I am Chris McCleary from the National Dream Center and ProjectComind.com. We are here together to triangulate the biggest influences that you might be feeling each day. And it doesn't mean that we're going to tell you exactly how you're going to behave on any day, but if you start to notice these bigger trends and these bigger energies, you can kind of surf ahead of the tide, if you will, get ahead of life and not be so tossed about by the waters of life. So what we have today, as mentioned earlier, is Venus transiting out of Leo and into Virgo. Out of Leo, where we had a tendency, or that influence kind of helped us to feel a lot more open and flexible and flamboyant even. But now we get into more of a conservative, as I get my cursor, more of a conservative posture with Virgo. We're going to have a tendency to really start to pay attention to ourselves, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Some people are talking about Venus and Virgo isn't really all that compatible. We got, on the one hand, relationships as Venus. We can't really be all practical and rational, which is what Virgo wants. But Venus doesn't really want that, and it's more about a connection, and connections require emotions, and emotions can't be all that rational and practical, but that's what it's kind of asking of Venus and Virgo. Keep in mind we also do have a couple trines here. Well, let me first point out the previous trine from last week. If you've been keeping up with our videos, last week we had this watery trine, and that's still present. And we also have Venus as part of a trine. One of those legs is Uranus. So if we see that you're not liking this particular aspect of the relationship, and I'm going to get to what that aspect is. If you're not liking what that aspect is, Uranus is all about change. So you have a trine there to help you, even despite being in sort of this emotional waters of chaos. Venus will be able to give you, or Uranus will be able to give you some change there. All right, let's talk about the collective dreams. And these are important because the collective mind does influence us. And social psychologists in the past and current day have noticed that groupthink is a phenomenon. And if we know what the subconscious thoughts are of the collective, we can kind of get an idea for where the group is affecting us. The memes today, these are the words, the surging words in the dreams. We have the red arrows are wear, shoes, skirt, decorated, and jacket. So there's a lot of things about costume or about appearance. And that kind of makes sense. If we're looking at Venus and Virgo, you're going to be looking at how I present myself. It's going to be very analytical, very expectable. I want to be expectable, or I want to have everything make sense. Well, and everything makes sense is exactly that word typically, which I included in the red arrows. So, bottom line is, we go back to our astrological chart. Being yourself is the most important takeaway for today. Not managing your clothes and your appearance so that you can have some sort of expected outcome, but be more concerned about being yourself, especially as we head into Thursday, which is the solar eclipse this Thursday, and this water trine that we have been struggling through and all that drama is probably here for a specific reason, to get us dramatized for that solar eclipse coming up. And to shake things up is that Venus in Virgo, and especially with it trine to Uranus, it's all about changing. And if you've been one to really managing other people's perceptions of you, we all do this. I think Virgos might do that more than the rest of us, or some of us. But anyway, it's more about presenting the real us to the world and less about how we are managing people's perceptions of us. Okay, and with that, I would like to wish you a wonderful Monday, and be sure to like us, follow us. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you could subscribe to our channel and hit that little bell, you'll get updates when new videos come out. Thanks a lot. And we are the National Dream Center, healing the collective psyche, one mind at a time. See you tomorrow.